Hello, good life travelers. Welcome to another episode of Travel Talk Tuesday. You're stuck with just the two of us today,
Yep.
Chrissy and I, because Tamara's somewhere nice and warm in Puerto Rico. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. I'm so
Chrissy.
jealous.
We have. What are you sipping on today?
Grape Kool-Aid. Is my tongue?
Grape Kool-Aid. I just spit up a little bit. Great. You're sipping grape Kool-Aid in the morning.
It's not like like the sugary Kool-Aid we had when we were little. It's I just love Kool-Aid. I have red and purple. And this is purple. And
I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but how?
I know. I've told you 100 times. I'm
older than
54
30,
with
54.
the palate of a 12-year-old. I enjoy the taste of grape Kool-Aid. I can't, and red Kool-Aid. But these are 0 sugar packets, and it takes me back to my youth.
Well, some of that came up my nose a little bit.
Everybody thinks I'm so healthy drinking all this water.
It's
No,
grape
but
Kool-Aid.
it's a Kool-Aid packet. Yep.
Okay. I am sipping on some Chinese
Oh, jeez.
slimming tea.
The slim
That's
tea,
very
yeah.
good.
It smells awful, but I'm...
I can feel the pounds just slimming away as we sit here. You throw me off. The whole Kool-Aid.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I enjoy it.
You couldn't make
It's
this stuff
refreshing.
up.
Yeah,
you couldn't
no.
make this stuff up. So
Don't.
you're stuck with the two of us today as we sip on tea and Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Because Tamara's down in Puerto Rico.
Yes,
We're doing a little,
I'm so jealous.
some
I love Puerto
training.
Rico,
Yeah, the
yes.
three of us went there maybe a
We
year and
first
a half,
started,
2 years
yeah.
ago, something like that, and fell in love with the island. And we've sent a lot of people there on trips.
Yes.
And she's doing a training, and a lot of people don't fully understand Puerto Rico. I think there's some misconceptions.
Yes.
I thought it was like a third world country. It's not. It's like you're in America, right?
Totally.
The dollars, the phone, the driving,
Yeah.
the safety,
Highways, everything.
Yeah,
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
A lot of different parts of the country too. Like people just think of San Juan, Old San Juan, right? But there's like beach areas. There's like adventure areas. There's the rainforest, the dry forest.
Yeah. There's a lot to do there.
Yeah,
And no passport required.
it makes life easy.
Yeah.
So if someone didn't want to get a passport, yet you kind of want that resort-like feel, they can connect with you, and you could hook them up down there. We stayed at, there's a lot of options. We stayed at a couple different ones.
Yes.
We really like the one on the beach, the Copa Marina.
Copa Marina was gorgeous.
But I know Tamara has sent some texts saying she found some new resorts that she really loved. So
Yeah.
a lot of good ideas for Puerto Rico.
Yep.
And so you're stuck with the two of us. And last time that
I'm all jacked up on Kool-Aid.
I'm still cleaning spit out of my nose, and there's a little stain on the carpet now.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Tamara. Last time, one of the times Tamara was gone, we went outside and we were downtown, and it was beautiful, and we did like an
Water.
industry update show. It's only 50 degrees. The sun is coming up, but Chrissy was a little afraid to go outside, so...
on the water, I think we were a little, If we did this at maybe 3 o'clock, it might be different, but no, it's a little chilly out.
And at 3 o'clock, you'd want to be at paddle bar.
Right.
Instead of out on the water.
That's right. You can't take me down there and not go to paddle.
So we're doing it from here, our usual place. But so I thought we'd go through some industry news and updates and have some fun too, because I have a little truth and myths game that we're gonna play a little bit later. I thought we'd start with the probably two of the biggest headlines you see now in the world on the news, and both impacting travel, obviously. The first one being the tropical storms, hurricanes are going on. We're kind of at the end of the season, right?
Yes, we are at the end of the season.
And very fascinating that our friend Tamara was going to be in the middle of Hurricane Tammy.
Yes, I thought it was perfect.
But she's in Hurricane Tammy right now.
Yeah.
So tell us about these storms. What are they impacting travel-wise? All that good stuff.
Well, I think in general, people hesitate to travel during hurricane season to the Caribbean and Mexico. However, it can be a good time to travel. I would just, price-wise and availability, and weather-wise, outside of the slim chance you get hit by a hurricane, which is why we always say that, travel insurance, if you're going to travel during this time, would be really a smart way to go, because I can offer through a supplier a pretty good price on travel insurance. It would provide you with travel credits. So you would just be able to take whatever you paid for your trip and use it for a future trip, which I think your parents just did that too. So, I mean, it's a very easy process. It's not too expensive, but you have yourself covered in the case something should happen. And something did happen to one of my clients this weekend. So you would think Los Cabos, usually that's over in Baja, California, on the other side, the western side. They don't usually get hurricanes at all. Well, they did get one. Hurricane, I think it was Norma was her name.
You know, the Normas I've always known are very nice ladies. I'm kind of surprised that this Norma turned south.
I know a Norma that's pretty crazy, but she's a sweetheart, but she likes to have fun. So I had these recent travelers, and on Friday, they contacted me and said, hey, I think they're going to close flights down. There's supposed to be flooding. And yes, indeed, they did cancel their flight on Saturday morning. She was able to talk to the resort and have one more night stay. We were able to rebook her on a flight on Sunday. But, you know, they had a wonderful time, obviously, up until then. But I was in constant communication with this client all weekend. And I think that's another instance which makes us so important, because she didn't have great internet connection. I checked them in for their flight on Sunday for them. There was some confusion with whether their transfer from the hotel to the airport was going to reschedule, but I got in contact with that company, and in fact, they did get picked up. So, you know, I wouldn't hesitate traveling at all around hurricane time, because the odds are that you're not going to go through something like that. However, if you do, I think it's great to have one of us on your side, because we really can help.
You know, that's what I hear, the horror stories I hear when someone books through like a big box store like a Costco or a big travel agency that just has a couple letters as their name, 3 letters. And it's because those people, they're at call centers or they just work a 9-to-5 job. Whereas if you're working with a full-time travel agency like us, you have that resource, you know, to help you out.
So, I mean, it was scary for them, which I think would be scary for anybody, because, you know, you're going to be staying somewhere where a hurricane is going to hit. And that was I think it was coming in as a pretty strong one. So I tried to do my best to calm them down and just say, you know what, enjoy the rest of your time there. Everything's taken care of. Just kind of, you know, obviously they weren't in any harm's way, but it was just a lot of wind and rain. And, you know, to be in a foreign country when something like that hits, I think it's great to have us, you know, for the $100 or so that Costco is going to beat us, you know, by, which, you know, you're also not going to be able to call them at any time and have have that personalized service for somebody that can help you, and the contacts we have with the transfer companies and the properties and all that. So.
Yeah, and you know, cruises, a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to be in the middle of the hurricane. But luckily, you know, the cruise lines have, you know, they're expert scientists, meteorologists, whatever they are, and they kind of steer around them. Occasionally, this can happen even outside of a hurricane. You can sometimes miss a cruise port because of weather or different conditions on the ground. That can be impacted, but luckily those ships have a bar.
Right. I know, that's what my thing. I'm like, have a cocktail and just kind of watch the storm come until you can.
You can still relax. Whether you're on a ship or at a resort in the middle of a hurricane, they're still going to be fun to do. They're going to keep you safe. You're not going to be in harm's way. I mean,
Yeah, I think if you're at the point where it is, then obviously there's shelters and different places to go. But I just think it's good to have somebody back on the mainland that can, you know, have your back and work behind the scenes for you when you may not have the ability due to cell service or anything like that. So,
and what is hurricane season again?
I think it's June to November.
Yeah,
late June to November.
That's a big chunk of the year. You don't want to not travel. I mean, you can't block that off. So there's
I would travel. I would just make sure that you have, you know, the insurance and.
Or there's areas that don't, like you always talk about the ABC Islands. So maybe that's a great time for a southern cruise to the ABC Islands. You know?
Right. Or a nice little trip to my favorite Aruba. But regardless, I would, like I said, that's a great time of year, price-wise, availability, weather-wise, you know, despite the slim chance that you could run into some weather.
So I did just see Tamara Smith Humphrey join the show. So hello, Tamara.
Good morning.
We were just talking about Hurricane Tammy.
And I got my Kool-Aid.
And your visit down there. So we hope you're being safe down there. And of course, Chrissy will help you if you're stuck anywhere.
That's right. Because he's not going to.
Okay, so the other big news story that impacts travel, obviously, is everything going on in two parts of the world. You know, we got the Russia-Ukraine conflict, which is basically shut down any travel there. And then we've got the conflict now in Israel again. You know, and this has been on and off for my whole life, I feel like.
Right, yeah.
And it seems like it's elevated a little bit more so recently with some of these attacks and so many innocent people getting hurt, which before it felt like it was mostly military on military, but now it's the innocent people getting attacked. And certainly our thoughts and prayers with all those people. But this has impacted a lot of people's trips. We've sent people over to Israel this year. Luckily, no one's there now. But I do know at least one lady this was her going to be the third time she tried to get there.
Aww.
And it got canceled, obviously. So I think when you think about situations like that, your safety is the utmost importance to us and to the companies that we work with and partner with. So a lot of those, all those companies are canceling the trips. And that's where we kind of come in hand to help look at other options. To help you navigate what those companies are offering you in regards to either refund, rescheduling, other options. I know some cruise lines have said here's some different itineraries that they're looking at. So that's where we kind of come in handy to hold your hand, double hands there, to kind of navigate those tumultuous waters about how to do it. We don't want anyone to go to Israel right now. Let's be honest. No one probably wants to go there. So how do we make sure that what the investment you've made is still gonna happen one way or another?
Yeah, it's another great example how I think it's wonderful and important to have us as a partner for that. Mm-hmm. You're not going at it alone. You have an advocate in us, kind of going through all the muddy waters and that, no pun intended.
Yeah, I also think travel insurance kind of helps this case too, because they'll offer you something in the companies, but it may not be exactly what you want as an alternative. So to have that buffer there is a nice thing too.
Yep.
Let's talk about another negative topic that you hear about that impacts. Well, sip your Kool-Aid, that'll help you. And that's flights, the roller coaster of flights. Mm-hmm. We always see, I think Spirit just, what do they pull, 1,000 planes out of circulation because they were going to do inspections or something like that. There's not always a lot of delays, cancellations, the glitches. My goodness. Well, how do you navigate that, Chrissy? You're kind of like, Tamara's the air queen, but I almost think you're like you're right there with her because I don't know. You have a lot of issues with air sometimes.
Sometimes I do, yeah. And it's weird because some of the airlines don't even have phone numbers you can call when you need to speak to somebody anymore. Everything has to be done via chat or email.
You probably have their personal numbers because you...
Well, I did have one trip where the girl says, well, we don't usually do this, but we're going to give you the number.
Save that number.
Yeah. So, again, this is a very important reason for us to be able to... what we can do in instances like that is even when we book your flight, we know, well, for some reason they missed their connection. We know there's X amount of other flights leaving that day that they could make. Yeah.
I guess you look backwards. So even before you're going to fly, that very point, we try to get you an early flight in the day.
Right.
That would be our first preference, so that if there is a delay or cancellation, there's another option. So from the beginning, you've got us advocating for you. Very good.
Right. And I think that... once you check in, this is what I tell the people that I work with. If you check in and you're at the airport, your best bet is obviously to work with somebody at the counter there. But that doesn't mean we stop communication with you because, we don't have like a secret number to the airlines. And it's better for you if you're in front of an employee of the airline for them to get you.
Well, and somehow those people at the gate, I think, have more power than some of the phone people.
I know.
Because they can override stuff, and they have like a secret handshake that they can kind of work some magic somehow, override stuff.
Yeah, but again, that doesn't mean that we don't, we're not there with you because this past weekend when I did that, I just kind of, we can log in under your confirmation number, kind of take a look at what's there, look at what's coming up, and I have in the past offer suggestions. Hey, go to the counter, let them know there's a 3:00, see if they can get you on that. So
It's everyone's worst nightmare, these flights. The delays, the cancellations,
and
the
I
lost
just
luggage.
think it's something almost we kind of have to live with now. Right?
Or you don't travel. And I think everyone agrees it's good to travel. I mean, to live life. And,
Yeah.
So how do you, I mean,
you have to,
how do you try to avoid
it?
Yeah, expectations. You try to be smart about what flight you're choosing.
Right.
There's sites out there that'll tell you what's the most commonly delayed flights.
Yeah.
Or websites, So that there's information. And then again, trying to get earlier flights, backups, all that stuff.
And I think also, a big thing now I've been finding is connection time is so slim.
They think these airlines, they can, according to their policies, give you 45 minutes to
in Miami or
to
Atlanta,
get in, to run to the other gate.
35-minute ones.
And they close the gate 20 minutes beforehand. So how are you going to get off the plane in 20 minutes and run to another gate? It's impossible.
Right. And I think if you don't realize that, and you were like, well, I'll just book this myself.
It's the cheapest on Expedia.
It's the cheapest. It's a cheap option. I'll do it, but you're not looking into the details of, oh my gosh, I only have 35 minutes to get from one terminal to the other. So that's where we come into it.
And if you think international flights, you have an hour and a half to get through customs, and get off the plane, and then board the plane whose gates close. It's absurd.
Yeah. So
flights. It's the one thing that makes me nervous about travel. Flights.
Yeah.
I don't get nervous about anything crazy in other countries or
because
packing
you
or
get
anything.
so excited you're going somewhere, and then it's like, well, no, your flight was canceled, or it's just you don't want to have that anxiety or worry. So
travel's supposed to bring you joy, right?
Right.
Speaking of joy, let's turn to positive news.
Okay.
We talked about a couple Debbie Downer stories here. Let's talk about the latest and greatest. So, let's be honest. Your specialty is all-inclusive resorts, amusement parks, domestic travel, basically half the world. And that's what you're in charge of.
Yeah.
And there's probably a million resorts, a million new things. Let's narrow down. What are your top new things you're excited looking forward to?
Well, this isn't such. I mean, it is kind of a new thing, but it's not. But it's a sort of a positive spin on a very tragic situation. So
hey, come on,
I know I'm bringing it down. Maui. So we know what happened to Lahaina when it had those awful tragic fires. I think it was back in June. But Maui wants people to visit. Now, obviously not Lahaina, but West Maui. It was tourism. And
that's their lifeblood.
That was the livelihood of many of their residents. And so they are asking people to come back to visit. I will say that right now, because there is no overcrowding, the Maui Tourism Board is saying it's a great time to come visit. So it's not really busy.
The cruises are back going there.
Yeah. And they want you to visit the island, but they also want you to be mindful and patient and have respect for the residents of the island. But come and enjoy. They want people to come back, but also West Maui, they say, is especially encouraged because they need their tourism back. But they're asking visitors to stay away from Lahaina, and out of respect for the people that are still going through that tragedy. They're on the website, they're asking no photos, no, even from afar. But there's other areas we said to visit, and they really want visitors back.
Well, I feel like if you're going to go all the way to Hawaii, you want to see Maui.
Yes.
So you can still experience Maui.
Yes, absolutely.
Either through a land trip or through the Superior Cruise, Of
course. But at any rate, they want people to come back and visit. So if you've been thinking about that, and I think it's also a goodwill to help a struggling area right now with what they've depended on for their livelihood for many years, and that's tourism. So let's get back to Maui.
All right, another place, and I'm gonna force this in, wedge this in. I didn't give you a heads up either. Sandals that Dunn's Rivers. It was like a resort they owned, and then they sold it, and then they bought it back, and they just renovated. It's right by the falls there.
Yes.
I've been hearing wonderful things about the place.
Yes.
A lot of new resorts. I heard Sandals opening a couple other resorts.
They opened St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which I had to look on a map. I mean, I know that's surprising because I really have a grasp of geography, but
we did a Friday feature.
Grenada,
yeah, we just did one.
I'm not quite sure. I guess it's tomato, but it's down there. They're tiny little islands, are these Grenadines, and so St. Vincent is one of the areas, and wow, it looks really neat. It's very very lush and green, and but then yet the luxury of the sandals and the beautiful beach and water. It's a gorgeous area. So, and that starts, you can book now, but it opens in April of 2024.
They probably sell out, don't they?
They do. You know, I looked for sandals for a honeymooner for May. 5 days in May. I'm having a hard time. I did find one property, but the first 2 or 3 that I looked at sold out.
Wow.
Which is okay though, because Sandals has that great program. So you put $400 down. I have a girl going in January of 2025. So she booked that far out with prices from 2023.
That's the best part.
It is. And she probably emails me once a month and says, could you put $100 towards my sandals trip?
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No, I do it. And, you know, by the time it rolls around, she's going to have it paid for, and she's going to be paying prices from 2 years ago.
Yeah, let's be honest. $100, that's not too strenuous for
So
a
whenever
top
she has a
line
little
luxury.
extra money, no. So, yeah.
Okay. Amusement parks are also one of your areas,
Okay.
especially. And I know you threw a paper down. I hope that's not your notes.
No, it's not. So, amusement parks. Well, I do know Disneyland in California, they have one of their properties, Pixar, I think it's Pixar Pixar Pier. Anyways, they redid their whole concept of the hotel, and the renderings look amazing.
Pixar's a fun one.
Yeah, and that's supposed to open, I think, in January of 2024, reopen. And then you and I were discussing this morning, and I think you have a little more knowledge on this than I do. But when we were at Universal a year ago in April, we saw this big area of land that was just kind of being ready to be developed. And soon we found out that it is going to be, what was it called again? I know, you're really into this.
Epic Universe.
Epic Universe. There it is. I'm sorry. So it's going to be another park in the Universal families in Florida called Epic Universe. And it's going to be the largest Universal park in the United States and second globally, just behind the upcoming Universal Studios Beijing. It's going to have 3 big properties, and some of the areas that are being discussed. Well, one of them
discussed. They're being built.
Well, one of them is going to be Super Nintendo, and it's going to have
Super Mario Land.
Areas like Yoshi's Adventure Ride and the Donkey Kong Minecart. Now they do have a Super Nintendo in Universal California, so I'm sure this will be similar. But
bigger and better.
But there's going to be a whole area dedicated to the old Universal monsters, which are.
I've never seen. I
like
hear about this.
Frankenstein and Dracula.
I mean, I've heard of them, but I've never seen any of the movies or anything. Aren't they black and white?
Yeah, but they're still classics. But they're going to
must
have
be
a
for
whole
your age
universe.
bracket.
Yeah, it is. How to Train Your Dragon, which is an adorable movie.
That's not my age either. That must be below.
It's a little bit younger, but oh my gosh, what an adorable.
The theming in that area looks really cool.
Yeah, and then some more Harry Potter, right?
Yes.
World?
Yeah, but Paris, like the Paris, was there Harry Potter in Paris?
London.
No.
Oh,
Paris.
I don't know about Paris.
London's Paris.
No, I know that, but I know there's a Harry Potter thing in London.
This is Paris.
Okay. I know.
All right, so I used to play.
Any more Kool-Aid?
I used to play Roller Coaster Tycoon as a kid, like amusement park where you design like your own amusement park. So I'm obsessed, and I watched YouTube videos with updates to this park.
Okay.
So 3 hotels, those 4 lands, and then a cool essential area like
City Walk, kind of.
Yeah, like a newer kind of And I think the way they're gonna do, they're talking about some of this technology where it's facial recognition. So like you won't even need a ticket per se.
Oh my god.
So like what I'm hearing is that you'd be able to get in the main area where there's the fountains, a couple general rides, lots of food and shopping, and then to get through one of the portals into one of the 4 areas that you mentioned, that there's a facial recognition that would say whether this beautiful face has a ticket and you can get in or not. I mean, it's amazing. I've never followed along with a brand new amusement park. It's just fascinating to watch and to see unfold and the progress, and the rides look awesome. So
it's supposed to open summer of 2025. So,
but like they're already planting trees and stuff, so I think it's got to be earlier.
You do?
I
know it was pushed back because of COVID. So they got a little behind because of that. But last I read was summer.
Listen, a couple $2 billion in this thing. It's amazing. Wow. And then there's speculation because a patent was filed, where in the How to Train Your Dragons, that there's going to actually be drone dragons that can fly and circle around the area like in what is it, a movie or TV show?
Movie.
Yeah. So that there can actually be, it's like that real, that they're going to have like, looks like dragons flying around, not just a ride, but I mean like these drones.
Oh, like little dragons are flying around?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh,
That's the big speculation.
That sounds cool.
It looks awesome. Yeah. So I am definitely looking forward to that.
Well, thank you for your help on that one.
I did say this is a great story you should cover. The other one I think you have...
I don't have anything else.
Vegas, the Sphere.
Oh, we talked about that this morning. I didn't write it down. So the Sphere, so the Venetian.
We give her one job.
I don't know. I'm sure you've seen, new snippets on it, but it's a giant ball in Vegas that will have like a little face on it during basketball.
It's a digital screen.
Yeah, Summer League basketball. They had a basketball on it. There's been a jack-o'-lantern on it for Halloween. U2 had an amazing concert in there, which I did see a little bit of footage. It's just crazy. But you can go there, you can get tickets and do there's a presentation and it's about Earth. And I did see a little video of people sitting in their seats and like a giraffe came around the corner and it's all on these screens, but it looks so real and so amazing.
Because there's the outside screen on the Sphere.
Yes.
And then inside there's a theater, then it's all like people say it's almost overstimuli because you miss the concert that's happening there.
Yeah.
Because there's so much cool imagery going on.
Right.
And it also is like an entertainment venue in that there's like restaurants and I think shops and stuff and bars. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it looks awesome.
Yes, and I just booked somebody on that yesterday.
They're going just to see that, right?
Just to see that. Kind of in and out for a couple days in Vegas, but they want to see that.
There are whole Facebook page groups now about the Sphere. And they show the pictures of like when it looks like a big eyeball sometimes or a globe or a moon. And like there'll be shots from like Las Vegas where you just see like this moon that's not the real moon, it looks like a moon. That's the Sphere.
Yeah.
Or like some cool video shot. It's just
so when
awesome.
we were in Vegas in August, we were in the Uber going to our hotel and it was there. And it is really it's neat. But it was that yellow face that looks like an emoji and it would turn and then it would go like this and it would wink. It was really cute. So I think it's something to see.
Well, definitely. Okay, so here's my question then, because the Mirage is not going to be the Mirage much longer. It's going to be a Hard Rock, and they're taking out the volcano, and they're going to put one of those towers that look like a guitar for rooms.
Yeah.
So you're losing that site entertainment in the evening, and now you got the Sphere. Is that equivalent
to the volcano?
Like, does that make up for the loss of the volcano?
Oh, absolutely. I think it does.
Okay.
Last time I was... Don't you?
Well, I'm a little nostalgic. Last time I was there, we kind of watched the volcano, and our little group said this will probably be the last time we ever see the volcano.
Yeah.
I didn't ask my parents if it's still going on when they were there, but... Okay. Anything else new in your area?
No, sir. I did what I was supposed to do.
I'm just going to cover 3 new ships, although there's countless new ships coming out. Mm-hmm. We're looking at the mass market contemporary style ships. The big one that everyone's talking about, Icon of the Seas. It's Royal Caribbean's a whole new class of ships. They always go bigger is better. This is will be the largest.
Ginormous.
Size matters when it comes to a ship. And this thing is huge.
Oh my gosh.
Thousand people. So much to do. Too much to do. You won't be able to experience everything. But they've really kind of, every time they come up with a new ship, they see what works and what doesn't in previous ships. So Oasis class was the previous ship. People said we don't see enough of the water. So they've really opened up the promenade to the water. Huge water views. Water everywhere now. One of the things is how do you they need space for families. So now they have this whole new neighborhood for families in the back, the boardwalk area that has the splash pad, but also some cool chill areas for adults. And also like a buffet geared towards families. All this kind of a self-contained area with carousel, arcade games, all this stuff. Really thought through what they would need to have a whole day of fun there.
Okay.
And so that's everywhere. They also, for Miss Chrissy, have the largest pool at sea.
Really?
They also have the first swim-up bar at sea.
Oh, really?
Gin and tonic, I think it's called.
Oh, that's cute.
And also has...
Or is it swim and tonic? Isn't it something different?
It's something like that. Sure, make me look bad. Let me keep you around. Okay, so Icon of Seas. It's pretty full the first year. So it's coming out in less than 100 days. We're looking at 2025. So if you want to get that, you got to get on the list, okay? Next, premium. I love Celebrity. Celebrity Ascent is this is the next ship in the Edge class. These are like luxury ships. that are just under 3,000 guests. Wonderful, huge guest to space ratio. So you have a lot of space, beautiful art, beautiful food. I kind of think our group should try one of these, one of the Edge class, because they're so. They say it's a luxury resort at sea, and it is just. I mean, it's high end, very nice.
Wow.
Finally, let's jump to luxury. MSC, you had a great experience at MSC. Some of us did not. We don't sell MSC now, but they have started a new luxury brand called Explora Journeys, and they tried to throw out the rule book and all new terminology about it's not a ship, it's not a cruise, it's a journey. And so they've started these new ships. They just they've launched one recently and just had like the naming ceremony in the U.S. Explora One, beautiful ship. Gorgeous.
Wow.
It's on the bucket list now.
All right.
A lot of just has these long journeys. It's not like all these round trips out of Miami or Port Canaveral like other ones. You just it's like a million segments that you just kind of jump in and gorgeous ship.
That sounds
good
fun.
looking food. So okay.
Good looking.
So that's some positive news updates around the industry. The other big thing, a lot of talk about guidelines. You know, a lot of the countries that you send people to have all these like entry requirements, guidelines. How do you help people navigate that?
Well, you know, it's funny, when Brett and I were in Punta Cana in February, I saw a lot of people struggling at the counter to scan a QR code to enter Punta Cana. And while they were in Cleveland, they had to have that. And so what I know is what each country requires. So each country requires usually something a little different. So some don't at all, but they do. And so obviously, before you go, I always touch base with important information that you need to know, along with your e-documents. Just another copy of that for you. And I usually have like a link in there to complete your entry to whatever country you're traveling to.
Yeah, and even like Europe is talking about doing this. They keep pushing it back, but it's by ETIAS. And so I don't know if that shouldn't affect many of your travelers, but for Tamara's and mine, the cruise out of there, this ETIAS, you know, I think it'll last 3 years. It's like almost like a modified visa kind of a thing that you have to get. And of course, there's a €7 fee or whatever. But so that's coming out soon too. And then finally, for our little travel updates, I thought we're about to enter one of the busiest time of the years for travel, but also for booking with the holidays. I thought I just saw Lizzo outside. Sorry. She's missing the flute. With traveling for the holidays. But it's Lizzo, yes. For holiday travel, but also the busiest time for bookings. Wave season, we call it. You know, started with the cruise industry, but now all you people use this wave terminology too, because the next few months are the busiest time of the year to book. Also, some of the best deals coming up.
Yeah.
Traditionally, January through March. Now it's pushed back to Black Friday. They say that's one of the busiest days for booking cruises of the year. So, wave season, what do people need to know for traveling, and what should they be looking at?
Well,
during this busiest time for booking, but also busiest time for travels.
I think a great idea would be to give the gift of travel for Christmas. And I did this last year for a couple clients and helped them with creative ways to give the gift and surprise their loved ones with a trip in the future. You know, it can be a few months out, it can be a year out, but whatever it is, I think it's a great way to present. You know, if you have a trip that's like $5,000-$6,000, you don't really have to come up with that right now to give the gift. With a deposit, you can book the trip, give the gift, and then take care of paying it later. So I think there's a lot of creative ways to give travel for Christmas. As far as traveling right now, you know, spring break, I am finding some availability.
But limited.
But
That's how cruises is.
Yeah, I'm working with a couple families right now, and they just need to decide which route they want to go. But I was able to find them some pretty nice flight schedules as well as properties. So
the only thing I think I'll add is, you know, after you eat that big meal with the family and you're sitting around unbuttoning your shirt or your belt, and it's a great time to say, let's do something as a family. Yeah. So especially different generations.
Together, yeah.
So like if you're with cousins or like siblings you don't see that often, it's a great time to have a chat. Like let's do something fun.
Let's plan something.
My family's, this will be the second year that we're doing something, most of us, after Christmas this year. So a cruise, and so we had a blast last year at Majestic that you sent us to, and so we guys said, why don't we do this again?
Oh, that's fun.
So it's a perfect opportunity holidays to kind of get some support.
I think that can fall into Christmas as well, because sometimes you're sitting around at Thanksgiving with your family, and what does everybody want? Who wants this? Why don't we just all go in on a trip together and forego the gifts and experience something? Let's not just get together once or twice a year. Let's plan a great trip for everybody to go on.
Yeah, I think experiences are much better than just
absolutely
the gifts.
Yep.
Beautiful. Okay, we're running out of time, so we're going to make this a speed round.
Okay.
I have 5 myths and 5 truths about travel.
And I have to do something intellectual right now?
You are going to, don't cheat. You are going to tell me whether you think it's a truth or a myth, okay?
All right.
Travel is always glamorous.
That's a myth.
Oh, good job. Sometimes it's not. We talked about the flights.
Yes.
We talked about other issues like storms sometimes.
Yes, things can happen.
And some people like to travel in non-glamorous ways.
Right.
Adventure seekers, hikers, hunters, all those people.
Yeah,
Tamara just booked a group of hunters.
Yes.
Going South America to hunt. So while they have some nice accommodations, I don't think it's going to be glamorous when they're out there in the backwoods.
No.
But it can be glamorous. Okay,
absolutely it can.
Very good. Solo travel is lonely.
I say yes because I don't like it, but I know you're gonna say
False.
no because you love it.
It's a myth. Traveling alone can be
I don't like traveling alone.
Fun.
I like people.
You can do what you want, not have to put up with other people when you're traveling. It can be a blast.
No, I don't like to travel alone.
Okay, all right. Planning ahead can save money. Myth or truth?
Oh, absolutely truth. We just gave them many examples.
What about last minute deals?
Last minute deals too.
Not on cruises. They're getting rid of those.
Yeah,
They've all said they're getting rid of last minute deals.
I don't. Yeah, and I mean, but I think planning obviously is going to get you the best.
Okay.
Best pricing.
This is a cliche. Is it truth or myth? Travel broadens your horizon.
Of course it does.
Anything more about that?
I don't. My horizons are usually just
a new drink at a bar.
Looking over an ocean.
I'll speak for Tamara.
I know Tamara would be right on this.
The culture, the immersive experiences, the food, learning how different people do different things.
Right.
Okay. You need to quit your job to travel.
No, you don't.
You have to have that to pay to travel.
Well, yeah.
And some people can work away from the office, so you could travel while
especially
working.
Nowadays. Yeah, you could take your laptop and work from wherever. For most people.
Truth or myth? Local cuisine is a highlight of travel.
I think it's a highlight. Absolutely.
So do you remember what the every country kind of has like their specialty dish? Since Tamara's in Puerto Rico, do you remember like the big dish there?
Mofongo.
Sounds so good.
But I can't remember what it was all about. Was it like
it was the crushed plantains, and that was kind of
like
into a bowl almost,
like
almost like a mashed potato, mashed
but
plantains.
It was a savory plantain. It wasn't.
Yeah, well, it's not a banana; it's a plantain. Those are more savory.
Oh.
Geography, food, and then they always had different meats and toppings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Travel's always expensive.
No, that's a myth.
There's something for every budget.
Absolutely.
Okay, travel can be life-changing. Truth or myth?
Truth, I'm sure.
Okay, are you sure? You should be confident. It can be.
Yeah.
Now, if it's just at a beach,
that still can be life-changing.
It can reset you, which I think sometimes we all need that, right?
That changes your life.
Travel is dangerous everywhere.
No.
You just gotta be smart.
Yeah.
Just be smart, common sense.
Yeah.
Which some people don't have.
I mean, I think what you wouldn't do in America, don't do anywhere else.
It's true.
I mean.
Finally, travel is communication is key.
Yes.
That's for anything.
Yeah.
Now they were kind of getting at communication, learning a few phrases. Like, what's the most important phrase in Spanish?
I don't know.
Más cerveza o margarita, por favor. Okay. And thank you in Italian. Grazie.
Grazie.
You gotta know these key phrases.
Grazie.
Well, you probably know a French saying, don't you? There we go. Forgot to turn the phone on. Do not disturb.
Oh, well.
That means we need to wrap this up. So, final segment. Any upcoming travel you working on for yourself?
For myself, no. I'm just heading to the mountains of Colorado for Thanksgiving, which I think will be lovely. We got a nice little place.
You gonna be skiing?
Creek. Oh, heck no. Maybe a little flat hiking. No hiking this way. Yeah, and I'm thinking of dabbling in a little bit of a BG trip maybe after Christmas. So
Nice.
yeah,
I could have gone on a cruise with us.
I know.
I'm going next week to Fort Lauderdale for the Cruise World
That's
Conference.
right.
So
Good
think
for
of me.
you.
You think Florida nice and warm. It's usually those conferences that are nice and cold. So
Yeah.
I never pack enough sweatshirts. I'm usually like
Because you're
shivering.
in the cold.
You're in the conference
Yeah,
center. And
yeah,
it's always
yeah.
ice cold in those.
Yeah.
But that'll be good. Anything new and well, we talked about new things. Any interesting bookings you want to share?
No, I mentioned that Sphere one, which was kind of fun. That just happened yesterday. And May honeymoon, still, like I said, doing some spring break. A lot of stuff out there. Just working on a lot of different things. A couple other honeymoons.
I'm going to call last call on Alaska Cruises. Because there's not much space left. So if you have any interest next summer to go to Alaska, you need to get it in now because time is pretty much out. Availability is very, very limited. Pretty soon we'll be moving to only inside rooms left, which is not the best way to cruise in Alaska.
No.
So if you want to do Alaska 2024, now's the time to contact you because we're at the end. Okay?
Sounds
Did a couple of those, so those will be fun groups.
All right.
Anything else you got?
Got nothing.
Well, we'd certainly like to thank everyone for watching this week's episode of Travel Talk Tuesday, all the updates. If any of the trips we talked about sounds like they could be perfect for you, or if you've got something on your mind, or
want to run
Christmas
something by
gift,
us? Yeah.
or say, is this possible? Can I do a hot air balloon ride in Patagonia? Whatever your little heart desires, we'll work on it. We can get you there. So connect with us, and we would love to help you. Okay?
Yep.
So thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week. Have a great week. Take care.